Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of One Man Stream. It seems that a lot of us are getting ready for the upcoming football season, and I had an acquaintance of mine reach out to me, Larry Mahan, and he asked me, he said, do you have any automation that you use, like when you're cutting to break and you want to have music come in, you want to turn the commentators off, you want to change to a particular camera angle, and then you want to play out some of your assets, some of your commercials or whatnot. So that's what the tutorial today is going to be our focus. We're going to focus on how to accomplish that, and I'm going to show you with just one or two buttons you can actually accomplish everything that I just described. So that's going to be the focus on today's episode of One Man Stream. We're going to call it One Man Stream episode 145, Production Automation. It's actually just stacking commands in vMix UTC. Actually, I put out a tutorial quite a while ago, and it was about how to set up the fade function in UTC. Now, we are going to use that kind of as a backbone of what we're doing today, but I am not going to go over all those steps. I would advise you to watch this tutorial that's popping up right now on how to do the fade automation, and that's going to go into great depth how to do it. I will show you the steps today, but I'm not going to go through everything that I went through in that tutorial. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to use some triggers in vMix along with a few other things. So let's just go ahead and get into it. This is what the vMix UTC setup looks like. Up here I have the commands to turn the bump music off and on, and then you can see over here where I have a whole bunch of bumps. Well, in the previous tutorial I had to set everything up for each individual piece of music. But I'm doing it a little bit differently this time. I actually set this up as a list, and then to play it in vMix UTC, all I do is I reference that list. So I'm just going to play the list, and you can see right here where it says the full juice. That's because that's what I have selected right here. And you can see where it changed to our new opening. So I'm going to go ahead and click play. And you can hear that music playing a little bit lower in the background. I didn't want it to go over top of what I'm trying to tell you here, but you can hear it in the background. And then I have another button up here that I click stop, and you can see where the music stops. Now, I explained in that previous tutorial how to play and stop. What I have actually is a pause and then a restart. So let's go take a look at this. And you can see right here, the first command is pause, and I'm pausing that list, the clip that's in the list, and it automatically populates right here. And then I'm also restarting it so that it'll be ready the next time that I need it. This is the pause button, and all we're doing is pausing it. Like that was one of the components in the second button right here of stop. If you remember, stop is pause and then restart. When we pause it, we just strictly use the pause command. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to pause it. Then I'm going to restart it again. And you can see where it picked up where it left off. And then I'm going to stop it. Now when I stop it and restart it, it starts back from the beginning. And that's something that's very handy. So we're going to stop it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how all this is going to work. Right now you can see where I have bus A. You can see where it's clipping up and down, bus A. But when I start one of the audio assets, let's hit play, you can see where that's coming on bus B. Well, how do we accomplish that? Well, that's actually very simple. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in this view right here. And what I'm going to direct your attention to is right over here in the audio mixer. We have our audio that's coming in. This is actually the microphone that I'm speaking through, and you can see I have this designated on bus A, and then my list of music, and I have this designated on bus B. So you can see the music's coming up on bus B, the audio is coming up on bus A, and the other thing that I have are the commercials, and I have those on another list, and that's probably this one right here, and I have this one designated bus B as well. So I have the commercials and the audio on bus B. Then what I want to do is I want to have a particular shot. I want it to go to my wide shot as they're throwing it to break, And as they're throwing it to break, I want my bump music to play. I want the bump music to fade down. Then I want it to go to a commercial after it fades down to 0. So I have all that set up in this break button right here. And you can see that it has 6 different commands. The first command is cut direct, and it's going to cut direct to this camera that I have right here. Then we're going to do a timer for 1 second, and then we're going to execute the fade command. Now I have this set up as execute link fade selection. Well, where did this come from? Right here. You can see where this says execute link fade selection, and then I have all these fade commands in here. Now I'm just going to go over it real quickly. Like I said, there is another tutorial that I suggest you look at that explains this in depth. But when we're doing the set command, when we're doing the fade command, we're setting the volume fade. This shows 2 parameters. We're going to take it down to 0 over 5 seconds. We're going to put a timer in here to let that happen so that it doesn't automatically go to this next command, which is pause. We're going to do a pause command and a restart command so that it'll be ready for us next time we need it. Then we're going to do another timer command for 5 seconds. And then we're going to reset the volume so it'll be at an appropriate volume level when we come back to it the next time. Those are the commands that are right here in the fade list select. And like I said, I spent an entire tutorial explaining how to do that, and I would suggest you watch that tutorial if you want to learn this information in depth. So that was the first part right here, fade selection. Then we're going to do a timer to let all that happen. And then we're going to go execute link mute A. This mute A is what is going to mute the announcers. And that comes from right here. You can see right here, one of the parameters that we can select is the toggle muted. So I check the box here, and then I put a link in here that says mute A. So when we execute link mute A, it's going to toggle bus A off and on. And I want to keep saying this because I want to make sure that you're understanding this. Bus A is going to be the announcer audio. So let's go back to this. So now we're down here to mute A. We're going to execute another link, and that's play commercial. Well, that's the first time this has popped up. Where did this play commercial come from? Well, I have commercials set up right here, and I have it set to the input that has my commercials on it, and that shortcut comes from right here where it says play commercial. I set this up so that I can use it as an executable link. If I want to, if I just click on this, it's going to play the commercial and take everything else away. So I'll go ahead and I'll start this short one here.
Are you a Kentucky high school sports fan? Do you know where to find the latest news and information on your team, your competition, and high school sports action across the state? Join the fun and excitement at bluegrasspreps.com. You can support your favorite team, test your sports knowledge, and share news and views at bluegrasspreps.com for all the latest on Kentucky high school sports.
So you get the idea. If I just click it, it's going to start that commercial. So that's why I put this executable link in here, because I want to be able to run this as we're going to break after those other items had run through. Now there are 2 pieces of information here. There's a cut direct that's going to take us to this list, and then there's another command that's going to play the item in the list. So you have to have both of those in order for this to work. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this in motion for you so you can see what's going on. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click the play button to start the bump music. And let's go with this one right here, the one that says the juice full. So I'm going to click the play button. And then I'm going to click this button that I just showed you. And then you'll see that everything starts happening as far as the going to the commercial break goes. So I'm going to go ahead and push this button. Let me go ahead and explain it to you a little bit. Go ahead and set everything into motion again. I'm going to start the music, and then I'm going to hit the break. You can see where the wide shot comes in. You can see where the music fades down. Then you can see right here where the audio is muted for the commentary. And it automatically goes into the commercial list. Now I only have 3 here, but you get to set it up however you like, and you can actually edit this on the fly. So we're going to play this Bluegrass Preps one. Then we're going to go to this Carol's Cozy Cabins. And then after that one, we go to the Veercast Digital commercial. Now you'll notice that after this commercial plays all the way through, that a couple things are going to happen. You're going to see where right here, the announcer audio is going to be turned back on again. And then you'll also see where it's going to go to a different camera view. All right, you can see where everything cleared out. It's actually this camera right here, so it doesn't look like it changed anything else, but it's this camera right here. And you can see where the announcer audio came back on. A couple more things that I need to show you. We have to go right here. 2 lists. I have this one right here, 39 and 30. So we're going to go to 39 first. I'm going to bring it into preview. I'm going to right click and click Edit Items. And you can see where the items are right here. Now on this 39 here, I'm going to click the cog and I'm going to go to triggers. Now I did set up 2 triggers, and both of them are triggered by on completion. You have a whole bunch of different things you can do, but I'm using on completion. On completion of the commercials, I'm going to cut to this camera right here, and this would be your main field camera. I'm using it as a webcam. And then also what's going to happen is on completion, I want to turn Bus A's audio back on, and that is what Bus A's audio is represented in vMix. So I'm going to do those 2 things after the commercials are completed. I'm going to go to this camera shot right here. I'm going to cut to it, and then I'm also on completion. I'm going to go back and make sure that the Bus A is turned on, so as soon as we get back to our live shot, then the commentary can come in. So the only 2 things that I didn't really show you is creating the lists, and the lists are very easy to create. You would go down here to add input, and you would just click on right here where it says list, or you can do it this way. Click on list right here, and then it allows you to create your input as a list. Now, in vMix UTC, the widgets that we're using to control these 2 lists, let's go to the widgets. What we're using is playlist. So we'll click on that, and this is what it looks like. And then all you do is you select the input. So the input that I used was number 39, so it would be this one right here, and you click OK. And you see where it brought those in, and then this is where you would manually start it or stop it. That's when I went and I created that button right here where it says play commercial. I just created a button, and then I clicked the plus button here twice, and I brought in these 2 places for commands. The first command is cut direct, and that's going to cut direct to this list. I want it to play directly from this list. And then the next thing is play, and we're going to play the whatever is in this list, and it's going to play this list all the way out. Now, one thing that you do have to make sure, and this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, is you need to go to list, and when you right click on it and click edit, it's going to bring up this right here for you. If you want it to automatically go to the next item in that list, you got to make sure that this auto next is green. Right now it's not, so it wouldn't go to the next item. It would just play the one item and that's it. With the auto next button activated, it's going to play each item in this list. Then when it gets to the last one, then it's going to run those triggers. That will conclude our tutorial for today, where we talked about production automation, and we showed you how to stack commands in vMix UTC, and we showed you how easy and straightforward that was, and how helpful it is when you're trying to do all this as a one-man streamer where you push one button and all these different different things start to happen. So that's going to be a huge time saver. If there's anything you didn't understand, or if there might have been anything I missed, please drop me a line by using a comment in this tutorial. If you like what we're doing here at One Man Stream, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure that you do subscribe so that you'll be alerted as soon as new videos are posted. And if you get a moment, please stop by our website. That is onemanstream.com. That's where we have the graphics that we've made through this tutorial series, along with many of the vMix UTC controllers. They're just a few dollars a piece, but it is a way that you can help support me here at One Man Stream. And as always, thank you so much.